can choose randomly. I bought two just so that I could be. I couldn't buy any other products. So we opened them. I used them into my deck. So it was in. So all of them will have a different themes on it. This one is airbending, exile cards to attacks. This one was bad advice, be an architect of disruption. So the idea is that you take the two, mix them together, and you come with a 40 card deck. So in this case, two old folks airbending bad advice. So we'll look at each one by one. Gylicorn, I don't remember. Helicorn, I don't know what. Gila Monster and something else. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's a one to cast Death Touch blocker. Just side. Corrupt Court Official. When this creature enters, target opponent discards a card. I think this is going to be pretty busted when you play it with Airbend. So for 2 mana, you can make an opponent discard a card all the time. So that's busted. This is also the episode. What I remember, the Wheel of Punishment. The Wheel of Punishment is here in the background. I remember trying to, and this is an advisor punishment. I like that advisors are Daily censor. Guessing they're trying to make sure that no one talks about the war outside. Daily are the cultural authority of Basin Saint, guardians of all Earth Kingdom. Sacrifice one creature. This creature +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. So it is a sack outlet. You can only do it once, but you need just. And Fire Nation ambushers. That kid's the avatar, so not. I mean, it's a flash 3/2, decent for being able to block uh powers that are sold out. I don't remember that there's any specific. So this is the one where Haru. This is Haru and is being betrayed by the old man's being Fire Nation. Haru's good deed went severely punished. This Bender kid. It's very good. It's for the cast exile target creature. Important when you want to try to avoid death triggers. But also, if you have like a low power but high tough creatures that you want to block with, you won't be able to kill it. But if you after the damage goes through, you play with this. And of course, deadly precision, very useful. I mean, you have a lot of small sacrificable creatures like the corrupt official, Gylicorn, or any creature that you want. And of course, pretty my art. Daily indoctrination. This is where they uh, put Jet Rebel from uh, Earth Kingdom Rebel. They were caught by the Daily. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-permanent card from it. That the player discards that card. So basically, this is the part where they're trying to uh, brainwash Daily. I mean, like this mind. So I guess that's the discard portion. And then Earthbend 2 is because they're Earthbenders. Long Fang Grand Secretariat. See, this is where it has like it has both the glider on commons, but also have the regular set PLE, kernel format, and as Airbending. Okay, this one's green, black green hybrid. You can play it for either green mana or black mana. Whenever another creature or land you control is put in the graveyard onto the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1. Pretty good. Lots of ways to be able to sacrifice creatures. This is the other one that's really funny. Ozai's creature. I don't remember Firelight Ozai being this like buff and Ozai's creature does 2 damage to target creature. That player discards 2 cards. So good for the team of this deck. Also, where there's the Agni Kai. He Agni Kai his own 12-year-old kid or 9. Judy, one of many. This is again a nice sack outlet because you pay one, surveil one, the top of your card, top of your deck, and put it either back on the top or put it in the graveyard. It creates a copy of this token. You can sacrifice a creature, artifact creature. Sacrifice the copy, sacrifice itself, or any of the other fodder creatures, and then you can trigger all sorts. You sacrifice the token, Judy, and then you get this one. Sacrifice it to the highly sensor position. Plus, it's extra creepy that since she is a human advisor, she is not legendary because she is indeed many. She's not. Then there's Hama the Bloodbender. I think we saw it before in my earlier packs. Mills, three cards, exile up to one non-creature, non-land card from the graveyard. For as long as you control Hama, you may play the exiled card by using Waterbending X. This is the uh very interesting part because as you saw, there's lots of sacrifice and there's also like discard effect. This mill effect, one mill effect. That's one disc. Ozai is a opponent official, so you have about a decent amount of triggers for mill or discard. So whenever your opponent discards a card, put a +1/+. Each advisor you control or mills one or more cards. Mills you can also activate. Pretty good. So this is the general combo. You either work around this or you can work around sacrificing mechanics around here. The engine that you want is this one. Keep on guarding milling or sacrifice. There's thriving more. It's a cycle of lands where you can either be one color or another color. And of course, it comes with each of the packs comes with one Appa land. An Appa land is basically a full art land where you Appa is somewhere in the background. So they're flying in the swamp area. Mystical. Then you only get one set of the lands. I'm pretty sure they're different kinds of. I don't remember this kind of industrial. That's that. That's the bad advice. Then, so you put those together, and then you put it together with the airbending. Airbending I got here is Monkiatsu, exile cards to attacks, particularly by Monkiatsu, the one who's making cakes. My ancient cake making technique. The only thing on your mind is it. Whenever another creature you control becomes a target of a spell or ability, you may airbend that creature. So, I control it. You're trying to target it for removal. You can airbend it away, so it goes with the whole evasion escape abilities of Macchiazzo. How I would do. Of course, you can't target itself. And if koala sheep, I don't remember seeing koala sheep in the show. Life gain, koala sheep anywhere, and often do that's like me. Jong Jong's deserters. So these are a bunch of regular Fire Nation guys who didn't want to Fire Nation citizens that didn't want to fight for the army anymore. I suppose to leave the Fire Nation required incredible trust. They had that in Jong Jong. Well, and ended up being one of the White Lotus Glider kids before Earth Kingdom kids who house themselves in the air temple. Use the wind current to be able to fly. Flying 2/3, pretty decent, good blocker. And when it enters Scry, so and wait to fix your library deck library. Rabaruchu, I really don't remember. It's a kangaroo and it's a rabbit and it's kind of freaky with how like mouth and it's cute that it has its kids and it's talking like a Joey. Landfall. I'm not sure. I guess a temporary landfall. So the jumping is the landfall, giving it a way to be able to avoid uh enemies. Maybe that's how you get the flying part, and then plain cycle, the earlier one. High mana cost to be able to cycle away the land. After redemption, your basic pacifism effect and a creature attack or block, but at least it gives you an option to be able to exile the creature so it doesn't if it has any like static abilities like this one. Even if it can't be block or attack, it can't put the +1 counter on another. And it doesn't stop abilities, so you can still use. But it's still very good to cast. Airbending lesson again. Airbend target non permanent, meaning you can do it on your enemy, so that remove them from combat or make them drop a enchantment or artifact. I mean, they will be able to cast it again for 2 mana the next turn. Easy enough to stop it, like do it at their end. And it's a cantrip. And Ang, the last airbender, human avatar ally. When again, airbending is part of the theme for this deck. Then whenever you cast a lesson, lifelink. Does this have lessons? Do you have any lessons here? We have one lesson. So far, only one lesson. So maybe the other cards have lies. Then Appa Loyal Sky Bison, very strong card. When it has a enters the battlefield trigger and attack trigger. So you can make your creatures fly, making them avoid the blockers, or airbend another target non-land permanent you control, meaning you want to be able to re-trigger things like trigger Ang or re-trigger the Koala Sheep to gain more life, or re-trigger Jong Jong to be able to. Not very strong in constructed formats, but fairly good for uh limited formats. And 6 cast for a 4/4. Invasion reinforcements again, good for allied decks. I just do it so that I can surprise block a big blocker, but also a good airbending target to be able to cur the battlefield ability. Airbender's reversal. So this is when Ang employed the typical airbender tactics against Zuko of avoid evade. This is season 1 fight because you still have his uniform and the ponytail. Target attacking creature. Very good for when you're, giant or airbend target creature. So this is the avoid and evade part. I don't know. Attack destroy attacking creatures and Airbender Ascension. Again, this is from the main set. So it does so you have a rare from the Jumpstart booster, which is done by the fighter, and then regular set. Airbend up to one target creature, and again any creature, and then whenever creature you control enters the battlefield, the quest counter. If you have 4 more quest counters, you can exile up to one creature you control further the battlefield under its control. What do we do with the? It's a flicker. It's a flicker card. Or enter the battlefield again, like before. They're all called thriving something. Tap land comes in tapped and color other than white. Again, an Appa land. So I think this is Appa flying inside or outside passing walls of that. I just can't tell if this farmland, this plains area, inside or outside. And regular lands are. This is the Southern Air Temple. Remember the Southern Air Temple because upside down. That's it. That is the airbending and the bad advice jumpstart packs. If I still have some others, but I'm not opened them because I want to try so much play with friends. There'll be things that I can mix and match, and I'm not gonna particularly uh, particularly put these apart because I do want to be able to keep them as jumpstart packs for the express use play. What else I have expressed that I do like the card, and I am buying a lot of sealed product. I don't see myself collecting it individually the same way that I set. I had a lot of like individual cards that I wanted to buy. But in this case, I'm just gonna buy and play, and then I'll still try to make my commander decks, but I'm not gonna be at least as of now. As of now, I don't see trying to buy individual cards to be for maybe the commander card. Individual cards, I'll just leave it up to fate to see. I was lucky enough to be able to purchase one pre-release box every of the 5 colors. So the others are featured by Lula for the black deck, Go for the red deck, Katara for the blue, Ang for the white deck. The way I'm shuffling, the old way we used to shuffle when we didn't have sleep. Like again, I'm gonna keep these in these packs, so I'm not gonna use. Anyway, thank you. Don't take my bad advice.